Alita Battle Angel is currently flopping, but I don't know that it is a flop.
I'm going to guess that we are going to get an Alita 2.
What's up, Alita Army? Doc Ito here with an Alita update. The Doctor is in. Today, we are talking about John Campea, his thoughts about Alita Battle Angel, how they have progressed over the last few months, and how he ultimately thinks there is a sequel incoming. Now first, a little background on John. For those that might not know, he's a YouTuber, film critic, editor-in-chief of the AMC Movie News, and he began his career with Beagle Productions and Satellite Studios, where they worked on a number of films, including Spy Kids 2, which was directed by Robert Rodriguez. Now he talks about the movies. He has almost 100,000 followers on Twitter. Is Endgame actually Oscar-worthy? Let me answer that. No. And on YouTube, he has a following of almost 200,000 subscribers. So while yes, it is an opinion online, he does have a lot of reach. And the more people with reach we have that think a sequel is going to happen, I think that does help a sequel ultimately occur. Check out the link below to his channel, and of course, remember to like and subscribe so you don't miss any of Doc Ito's free repairs.
You guys know I've kind of been looking forward to Alita Battle Angel, and I've gotten excited for this movie, but I was hoping to see a high 70s, maybe low 80s number for it. Last time I checked, the film had a 39% on Rotten Tomatoes. There's a number of critics that I really identify with who are kind of beating up this movie. My enthusiasm for this movie has taken a little bit of a hit. I'm still going to see it. There's nothing worse than, as a film fan, looking forward to a movie and then hearing other people whose opinions you kind of identify with and respect coming back to you and saying, yeah, I saw it and I didn't like it. It's like, oh, that takes a little bit of wind out of your sails.
And this is why the media's treatment of Alita was so hurtful, because people did stay home and skip the movie because of negative reviews for the movie.
But this is how grim. It looks even more grim than you think. They are going to lose a ridiculous amount of money on this. They think this movie can make 550, 600 million, and that's not even profitable, really.
But I think this movie is going to be huge overseas. I think it's going to be huge, especially Asian audiences. The Chinese market for this movie is going to be massive. Kind of the way how Pacific Rim did not do very well here, but it did really well overseas, right, and they were able to make a sequel.
Alita Battle Angel is a film that needs to make 500 million plus. Can it get there? It's going to be hard. I was reading a good article on Variety talking about that specific issue, as a matter of fact.
This is probably the article he's talking about. We've already covered this before. This $500 million number actually comes from executives at rival studios. And insiders at Fox say the break-even number is closer to 350. So I'm not convinced that we can really take this 500 number at face value.
And by the way, I saw the film finally, and I enjoyed it. Terrible dialogue, bad love story, horrendously awful ending, all mitigated by great action, a lead character you find yourself getting emotionally attached to and cheer for right away, incredible visual effects. All of that outweighed the negative to me. And yeah, I walked out with a pretty good smile on my face. It's a pretty fun movie. And I do hope they get a chance to make another one.
But everybody who's talked to me about it has liked it. China that's a sweet spot for this movie. I mean, I'm pulling for it. I'm a huge James Cameron fan. I want it to succeed.
My favorite movie of the year is Alita Battle Angel, and the whole box office total is just 286 million. Is it safe to call it a flop at this point? And do you think they could still make another one due to the positive fan reactions to it?
I think there's still a chance and get closer at least to that break-even number. And I'll tell you why. Because I like this movie. It does have some problems, but it's got the most important thing, which is a lead character you can get attached to and cheer for and you get emotionally invested in immediately. When you get bought into Alita as the hero of the film and you're loving her, all the action now has narrative purpose for you and just gets heightened all the more. But I would suggest this, Robert. I think that even if this movie flops, and at the end of the day it loses $100 million to the studio, normally that would close the book on a potential sequel for a lot of franchises. I still think there's a path here for the possibility of them doing a sequel anyway. Number one, the studios have infinite trust in James Cameron. Number two, there is some really good positive feedback for this film, and it is ripe for a sequel.
Final question, Christopher W. Hearn, who writes, what are my predictions for it after the theatrical release? The movie still hasn't broke even, but I believe sometimes you can have a movie that doesn't break even or loses a little bit of money and it still gets a sequel. I believe there's a good argument a producer can make to a studio as to why they should still go ahead and do a sequel to this. And I think you can make the case that with the amount of people seeing it, enjoying it, if you do a sequel, you will get more people out to it than you did the first time around. Now, nothing guarantees that. Nothing guarantees that. But I think you can make that argument, and I think you can make it pretty compelling. And now that Alita is under Disney, I think Disney will be willing to roll the dice on I Do. So I'm going to take a wild guess. I don't know when, but I'm going to guess that we are going to get an Alita 2. I think at some point Disney will greenlight this. I think we will get this movie. I can't guarantee it, and I don't know when, but I believe we are going to get another movie.